West, y'all.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Empty Out the Clip podcast, the EOTC. My name is Cams, and I'm here with my brothers, Ave and Lady. What's up, boys?
What's up?
Also,
It's good.
like the B news.
Please.
You know the drill, the shout outs. Let's go off.
Yeah, just shout out to everyone down at Countrywide Monitoring. My team there have been helping me out at work. To Ronald, to Dora, to Ty, to Rebecca, Roshni and Karen, and to my boss Jens. Shout out to you guys for putting up with me for the last 3 weeks. Yeah, shout out to my team.
Oh, man. I got a massive list of shout outs today, man. But my first one is to the Nef Mace Smells, man. The man collected the gold last week for the New Zealand Junior Squash Champs. Well done, man. We've been talking about you, like, manifesting your arrival back home, and man, the man delivered, eh? So it was really good after the back of our last episode that the Kama was like, sitting there with the gold medal. So awesome achievements, Mace. Yeah, bro, we've been huge following you, man. Like every time you're posting, so keep it up, man. Look forward to seeing what the future holds for you. Also to my bros, Joel Burns and Sam Tutipo, who jumped on the pods, the back of the 135s. So yeah, some pretty hard case yarns. We had Sam in today. It was pretty cool having him answer the last minute call. And another shout outs to DJ Affiliate, aka Ian McMahon, who's getting married tomorrow. So yeah, it was pretty funny having him and DJ Trick come into the barbers first thing Saturday morning. It was like 10 years from my life 10 years ago. Walked through the door. It was when I was it was like John Wick Part 3. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Shout out to Mateo Brown down at Ground Christchurch, who's closing his doors. My father's barbers. Government's done massive things for the city of Christchurch. To my cousin Way over in Brizzy, the man goes MIA when Para smashed the Brisbane Broncos last year, and then all of a sudden has been messaging me hard out ever since then. He's moved into his home. Congrats, cuz. Proud of you. Proud of your massive achievement. And my last 3 go out to Sandy Key of 50 Clothing for hooking us up with the gear that I'm wearing today. And also to Ted Witty, he's been watching us and he shows us support week in, week out when he does his Kapenga house. He said he tunes on TV and has a good laugh. Yeah. And yeah, last few to Deza Green, he comments on every episode we've been posting. And then to my sister-in-law Trisha, she pretty much up and gone this week, so she's gonna be with Sam.
Oh, true,
so,
yeah.
2 old Westside Fitness goers, yeah. And to my daughter's partner Leroy, returns home back to Melbourne. But yeah, that's my massive list of shout-outs this week.
A big list, a short list.
Charlotte, I just want to say shout out to all the listeners out there listening in to all the West Network content. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Don't forget to look at our Empty Out the Clip Facebook group page. It's a private page, so you got to answer the 3 questions, and then the security will let you in. There's a chance for you to place your 10 cents, 5 cents worth of opinions onto the page so we can talk about it on the podcast and all that. So thanks, everybody. So how's everyone's week been?
Yeah, this week's been good. Back at work again. So I'm on the twilight shift, the 1 to 9. This next couple of weeks. Just the changes, the energy levels. So when I finish at 9, like I thought I'll have enough energy to go to the gym, and train. And then I say to myself, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 5:30 in the morning, go to the class. Just the energy levels, I don't know, like straight after work, I'm like really tired, Damn, I'm really tired. Like, and I think the one thing I'm gonna do this week is meal prep too, because I noticed last week it was always takeout, and I'm like, I need to. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely meal prep this week. Just trying to conserve my energy, like watching not nonsense, but just positive stuff. You know, like just there's some stuff. Oh, and I got a new phone, guys.
Oh wow!
Got a new phone too, boys. Finally had an upgrade from 2016.
Yeah, but screen record that one.
Yeah, I can screen record everything, man. Just watching good content, motivating content. There's some stuff that I watched this week. Just the older we get, you know, just gotta look after ourselves, eh? Yeah. That's my week. How about you? Let's.
Man, like I've been saying, man, I've been trying to get as many episodes in before I have a little break. But nah, it's been good, bro. It's been really good. I've managed, because it's still school holidays. So after last week's episode, we did, or after the one with Eric, we went to the movies and that, and try to just be on that buzz, like make use of every day.
Yeah, with the kids in it.
So carrying on from my last week's story, I ended up going to town, and I ended up going with Kira and her boyfriend. Went to go see the doko on one of the doors. So like literally 20 minutes before I told him I was gonna be packing up, went to go see him and he wasn't there, man. The man who Dini's from the door. It wasn't until one of the other guys told me, like, sorry, there was an incident. Yeah. Incidents either means two things, eh? Someone put someone in behind a colourful door, or someone got picked up and went to a colourful door. Like it is, like, yeah. So the boys over in Rarotonga at the moment, but yeah, met out to my dog was Sonny, man, because it was a good night. I ended up just going in and just just lazy nights because I hadn't had a sleep really.
Yeah.
But made up for it yesterday on Friday. Went to the Mango Tavern, called a little family reunion with the old work boys. Man, ugly, bro. It felt like those one waiting for a sponsor, you know, the $1 a day ones. England ones, local ones, having the cans. Because I ended up bringing like 4 trays, put in the chili bin. I went on my lunch break to go get a bag of ice. And man, I was stuck in traffic trying to go to the petrol station.
Yeah.
And I was getting these eco ones. And I was thinking, remember why you on the podcast, man? Because you've been calming yourself down. And like, you know, when the car valet doesn't take the light on the green, and they're like there for like what feels like 20 seconds. Yeah. Go, man, go.
Delayed reaction.
Yeah. And then I ended up getting the bag of ice. Once I put it in the car, man, I was all good. Ended up at the Mango Tavern, but traffic was ugly, eh?
Yeah.
And man, I felt stitched up, man, because we were talking about it last week about our clubbing episode. You know, and everyone goes straight from work and then diverts, go have a guy later, and then comes, and I'm the only one on my work uniform. Gas, man. So I was like this a little mooly one standing at the bar. But nah, man, it was good to catch up with my Curie fans, man. Like, yeah, there's a big age gap between me and some of the guys at work. But it's nice that they can sort of show your appreciation and be like, man, thanks, man, we needed this. Man, shout out to my bro Nate, who didn't come to work on Friday, but he came to the drinks. Shout outs. How about you also? How's your week been, Hims?
Yeah, I had a pretty busy week, eh? It was cool too, because this was it felt like the first full week of work because of the Easter break we had, and then we got Anzac Day on Tuesday, and so I took Monday off. So I'm in the middle of my 4-day weekend, which is pretty good. Did you guys take Monday off?
Nah, they offered us day and doing 7.5 for Tuesday, man. So I was like, yo, I'm not going to turn that down. So yeah, got a lot of fire. It's not that I didn't appreciate the guys that died for the country and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm still a little bit confused because of the timely wars that happen as well. So, but I'll get into that a bit later. So. Yeah.
No, I actually, like, I thought Anzac already finished, man.
So you didn't watch any games over the weekend?
No, I did. No, it's when I saw, I think it was, the Knights and the Cowboys. So when they all stood in the thing, and I'm like, why are they singing that national anthem?
Oh, they're going down on the sun. This the thing they always say at the RSAs, eh?
Yeah, well, I don't. But they were singing the players. They were all singing the national anthem.
They're all doing it every game.
Yeah.
Even they do national anthems? I thought it was just the.
what is it?
The 1 minute silence.
That and what were they singing? They didn't sing the national anthem.
Nah, I thought they just played the last post.
The
Oh.
last post, the
Shit.
trumpet.
I was watching something, man.
Oh, wow. Must be a flash friend, man. Pescava.
Nah, I was watching something. Okay, but and then it was when they said that Anzac, like it was, you know, because the Anzac on Tuesday, and then but see, I'm rostered on to work on Tuesday, and I'm like, oh,
Damn,
gives. Oh
yeah. Time and a half, man.
Yeah. Guess, but hey, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, so I slipped that holiday in there, so you know, 4-day weekend, so it's pretty good. I started a new short course. I joined this new short course at Auckland Uni. It's creative writing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's 6 weeks, 6 classes for 6 weeks, 2-hour classes.
Free.
Nah, to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man, it's cool, man, because I didn't know what to expect because I haven't been in the classroom in a long time. But,
you actually not online. You actually go in.
Nah, there was an online option, but I wanted to face to face. It's better, you know. Didn't want to talk to a TV screen. But yeah, it's after work on Thursdays at Auckland Uni.
Oh, nice.
6:30 to 8:30. So I went to my first class. Man, I'm the only guy there. Eh? I'm the only male there.
Oh, what were you writing? Poems.
If you want to. So it's just it's pretty cool because you know I've been interested in writing lately, you know, and I thought, man, because I've been looking at some YouTubes about, you know, tricks of the trade and all that kind of stuff. It interests me, but then I decided, oh man, I just want to go into a classroom whenever there's someone there, you know. So yeah, went to the first class. There's about 12 of us. 12 of us there, and everyone there, they're all white.
Yeah.
They're all white ladies of different ages, middle aged and young. And the tutor's a guy, John something, forgot his name, but he sounds onto it. Yeah, so first class down and 5 weeks to go. So just did that. Went to the Blues game yesterday, and yeah.
Yes, I saw. What was that on your plate?
Oh, that was I think it was chicken curry on rice.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I asked you, like, do they serve that at the games? Like with the plate too?
Yeah, no, it was actually a corporate box.
Oh,
so my work, they got invited to a corporate box that belongs to Jib.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so because I think it was a long weekend. I think because Anzac Day, a lot of people would take Monday off, you know. So a lot of people probably will be away for 4 days.
Oh yeah.
Because there was hardly anyone at the game. There was heaps of empty seats out there.
All of them in the corporate boxes.
Yeah. So now it's good.
Oh, mean.
So, sharp boys. Let's head to our first article. Eh? So, man, I just can't get over this. I'll start off that West Auckland abduction. Eh? So, man, that was shocking, man, because it's like so close to home. But anyway, so some dude breaks into a house. It sounds like he broke through the sliding door at the bottom of the house, eh? And where a girl stays in the room, because all the family was all asleep. Everyone was all asleep. This guy actually, he was dressed up in black, had a knife, abducted the girl, and she got away. Eh? And he was chasing her around the streets and that, and then found her again at the park. And I don't know what happened, but she got away again. And fuck, that's just sad, eh? And scary at the same time. Like, you know, I see this kind of stuff in America, but to be in West Auckland, you know, just up the road, it's just shocking, man.
Yeah. After I think when they shared it, I read it, and I read what he did too. Apparently, he drugged her or something. Yeah, he put a pill or gave her a pill or something, and did he get her to smoke something too? Bro, and what he did after that was he got her to perform like indecent acts on him. I'm like, oh, there should be I I don't know. I know there's CCTV cameras in London, like the UK area. Like it's everywhere, eh? Like there's certain areas in London or whatever. Like there's cameras everywhere. This yeah. It's just sad that yeah. Obviously, this guy's just he's been lurking. You know, he's been around in the bushes. It just shows how sick people like that are. You know. Preying on the young and innocent.
Hasn't been found yet, eh?
Hasn't been found.
Shit.
I think the two things that alarmed me is that, like, okay, I'm gonna try and keep my surroundings to a minimum. Is that the article didn't even come out, or it was in the paper, but it was like an online article. Never heard anything about it on the news because I've been watching a whole lot of news and there's nothing that's popping up about something that happens out west. I mean, considering that West Auckland is like the murder capital of NZ, and that something that so close to home, it's literally like a couple of streets away from one of the gang pads down here, and it hasn't even been alarmed. It's shocking, man. Like that was, I think the article was from Thursday, and I only found it on Saturday. But because it's so close to home, man, like I literally shared that because as a parent, first things first, I mean, abduction can happen anywhere, like along the public roads, walking down alleyways, even in front of like a whole lot of people, like on the main road,
Yeah.
like outside of school. But this is inside a house, man, like
Game,
actual
right.
home. So for the guy to get in, and this poor girl, like I'm not saying she done anything wrong, because that was out of her control. Everyone was asleep, but man, to all parents, man, and I urge you guys to just simply have a word with your kids, man. You know, knife or no knife, because she's obviously said that she pleaded like to kill me, like take me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
I saw that.
Man, she should have made as much noise as she could have inside the house.
Yeah.
You know, if someone comes into your house, that's your safe space, man. You gotta make as much noise. You know, leave stuff around that the kids can use it as weapons or to just throw against the floor. You know, make
Yeah.
as much noise as the kids can. Like, you know, I personally leave perfume at the door, and I do for a few reasons, like the lingering of the smell inside the house. But use it to mace someone. If someone comes to the door and they ain't leaving, mace them. That's why you leave perfume at the door. If you spray that on them and you call the police and they bring out a dog to follow that scent's there, man. You know, there's simple things like that.
Yeah.
Like leaving your work beats at the door, but also getting cameras, man. Cameras, getting one of those, like, I had cameras, put it close to the front door. Whoever comes and, like, breaks into your house, man. Like, even if you got, like a Sony PlayStation, man, those have cameras as well. You can leave on sleep mode, leave it on live, you know. There's little things that could have helped, man, prevent this. But just when she got abducted, she should have just screamed as loud as she could and make as much noise as she can, man. I think people ain't gonna lose sleep, you know. For her to be taking advantage of the way she was, man, it's like, man, I know, like, under the pump, some people freeze and that. But, man, that just... And they ripped a bit of my soul, just knowing how close to home it is for all of us, you know, and especially in our backyard, man.
Yeah, like it's just instead of like running, like she should be safe because that's her house, but she ran out of it, eh?
Yeah, sort of ran away from her home, and
and it also shows that the guy, fuck, what a sick prick. Like how, oh man, he must have been watching this house.
yeah, he had to be, man.
Shit.
He was calling her name from outside the door. That's what got her up.
Yeah.
You know, just talking about this right now, you know, just in the story coming out, that just makes me want to lock the house again, like actual, like make it a thing to make sure the house is locked. Because I don't remember doing that since a long time, man. Like I remember getting in trouble when I was a kid if I didn't lock the house, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, when like maybe the last 15 years, didn't really worry about locking the house, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think because this doesn't happen, really,
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest scare I remember in Auckland, maybe in South Auckland, was the South Auckland rapists. You know, and everyone was there was just paranoid, you know, locking their houses. But I think from that time when he got caught, and probably, since then there hasn't been a big deal.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's just sad. Sad it happened to someone preying on the young and innocent, and just I hope they find him, and like lock him away, throw away the key, bro.
Yeah, man, put a bullet in that guy's head.
They're sick.
Yeah, they sort of like know what happened to him moment of this one, man, because he preyed on innocent kid,
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, just and it shows just how the effort, like that guy's effort on how trying to get the girl, fuck. Oh, he's probably one of those guys that grew up, never had a girlfriend, you know.
I mean, the hardest part of that read is that because it's school holidays, and everyone's gonna sleep in.
Yeah,
But the parents didn't even know that she was gone, man.
yes,
They had to scream out for her, not knowing that the person coming to the door was telling them she's fine, but no, we've got her.
yeah.
It's just that this has happened to her, and
Man.
they were unaware of it. So it goes to show, man, keep your houses locked, man. Like,
Yeah.
flip.
Check on your kids too before
on your
you go
kids.
to sleep,
Make sure, if the kids are up, they don't go and just color the front door and
Yeah.
leave it unlocked.
There was an incident a couple of weeks ago, just at my olds too. There was a young guy late at night, like 8 or 9, and they went up to and knocked on my parents' door to actually use the landline, and I'm like, what? My mum's telling me, and I'm like, what? And then my mum's like, nah, we don't have one, but they obviously they got one to communicate with everyone. It's just, and especially like when I heard that, I'm like, if I was lucky I wasn't there, I'm like, fuck you, where the fuck's your family? Go bother them.
Yeah, man. You got girls at home, man. All the parents out there, man. Teach
Yeah.
them to make as much bloody noise as they're allowed or they can as possible, man. Because, shit, man, this poor girl ran away from her safe zone, and had all that stuff happen to her. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, man, but could have been prevented, Could have been prevented had she just yelled, man.
Yeah.
Kicked and screamed. She was literally in her home.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't know what she was thinking, like running outside.
Yeah.
Heat of the moment.
I mean, some wounds can be fixed, but now this trauma's forever.
Yeah.
And it's not fair, man. Like, But this is life, man. This is the reality that we live in these days, man. It's just, this never would have thought that close to out here, man. It's just like, goodness. It's real sick.
Yeah, I hope they find that guy. Needs to be caught. Okay, I just want to make a shout out to Filippo, who posted up on the Into the Clip Facebook group page a story about a CEO in America, a woman, who had a Zoom call with all her workers and sort of told them off for complaining about not getting a bonus that year. And she sort of told us to shut the fuck up and just do your work.
Is that in New South Wales or is that in Queensland? Come again?
But I'll play some of the thing of what she said.
Came through about how can we stay motivated if we're not going to get a bonus? What can we do? What can we do? Some of them were nice and some of them were not so nice. So I'm going to address this head on. The most important thing we can do right now is focus on the things that we can control. None of us could have predicted COVID. None of us could have predicted supply chain. None of us could have predicted bank failures. But what we can do is stay in front of our customers, provide the best customer service we can, get our orders out our door, treat each other well, be kind, be respectful, focus on the future because it will be bright. It's not good to be in the situation we're in today, but we're not going to be here forever. It is going to get better. So lead by example, treat people well, talk to them, be kind, and get after it. Don't ask about What are we going to do if we don't get a bonus? Get the damn $26 million. Spend your time and your effort thinking about the $26 million we need and not thinking about what you're going to do if we don't get a bonus. All right? Can I get some commitment for that? I would appreciate that. I had an old boss who said to me one time, you can visit Pity City, but you can't live there. So people, leave Pity City. Let's get it done. Thank you. Have a great day.
Oh God.
I just want to say to that lady in that corporation who got that lady to come and tell all the workers that they feel sorry for herself, just get the job done. Okay, some people get paid by the hour.
Yeah.
Some people get paid by the bottle. But people do not respond well to that. All I see is a whole lot of people dragging their feet and being like, all right then, this is a two-way street. Watch this, you know?
Yeah.
And then clock out. Just check out. Not even want to... You ask, they already said, nah, man. I can't. That's how you get the I can't city going on in your workplace. There's yarns like that, eh?
Yeah.
That does nothing for morale. But who would say that, eh? Clearly some... What is she on? Is she on drugs or something?
If that was your boss, Avi, if that was your Zoom call at work, and you're on that side, and you heard that, what would be going for your mind?
Well, I don't know. I've actually just started working because, no, well, I don't know. Depends on the environment. Like, obviously, I feel sorry for those workers that work there.
Straight up, eh?
Yeah, but it depends on the environment. Like, if the bosses are treating you like that, there's plenty of jobs, at other companies, corporations, and that. It's just But yeah, hearing that shit, like for example, I'm sure if people that work in McD's, because McD's is like multi-billion, million, whatever. But I'm sure they got like little bonuses for staff members, that they bosses that they supervisors they can targets they hit or whatever. If McDonald's can do it, no, I don't know. I wouldn't want to work for that company though.
Yeah, I thought one thing, it's in America, and no surprise. I'm not surprised by American companies doing that. It's funny how this came on New Zealand news, like showing what it's like over there. Because to me, I think that's just normal over there. But over here, it's to us it will be shocking. So I think the intent of the story was to shock us here, but it's just normal over there, So, but yeah, it's a shitty situation, and she's the CEO of that company. She is the CEO. So her job is to make money for the shareholders, right? That's what the CEO does. It's a public company. If you have a CEO, it will be a public company, and the CEO will represent the shareholders, the investors who have put money into this business to make it grow. Now, her first priority is making money for those investors, right? And you do that by cutting staff or making profits, right? And in turn, the CEO gets more of a paycheck. So she's probably forcing the issue and not listening to the process, because that is the process if you're a CEO of a company. Like, if you want to make your shareholders happy, you either do stuff in the company to make more profit. You do that by cutting staff. You don't force the issue and say, to the staff, we're not going to cut, but you got to just work hard and earn more bonuses, because those bonuses are going to the shareholders, not them. So I think she was probably having a bad day, or probably, I don't know, she's probably not a good CEO. But no, I don't think that type of thing will fly here in New Zealand, eh? And just like Let's said, man, if you're working and you heard that from your boss, yep, you're just gonna muck around.
That's the cue right there. Did you hear what she was saying? No, what did you hear? All I heard was that you can muck around. She's still gonna pay us.
Yeah. Fuck that, man. Like I'm sure, like if I was working for a company that did give bonuses, you know, that's an incentive to like turn up every day, like, you know, and do the work, you know.
Yeah, but some people like or some management like her, like that's the sort of person who wouldn't appreciate her people and staff and go as far as saying thank you.
Yeah,
Like, when you work under someone like that, that word doesn't exist. It's just do as I say and do it now. That's not high enough. It needs to be higher. That line's not straight enough. It could be a 0.5 of a bit, millimeter to the left. Yeah, that sort of those dictatorship sort of bosses.
Have you ever worked for? I'm just trying to think if there was ever a boss that I've worked for that was a prick.
Oh yeah, my older brother.
Oh,
Number one.
oh,
I call him Hitler G. Like one thing he did tell me or teach me was, man, or that I taught myself from working for him was they never listen to a prick who tells you F bombs you every second word, man.
yeah,
Because they taught me like, man, you can work and get paid good money, but then get treated like shit, you know?
yeah.
They get spoken down to you like a bloody smaller than a mouse.
Yeah,
Does nothing for your self-esteem, man. Like in my head, I just learned like, man, if I ever worked for someone like that, man, I would show him one day, and humility would be a massive fall when he lands on his ass, you know? Because
yeah,
I'd be like, gee.
yeah,
Because some people, right, like they bark so much rubbish that they believe the shit that they spit.
yeah.
And it's not until like you have a social setting, you know, like you're speaking about your boss, like where when it comes to professionalism, but he's the ace. But when it comes to like clocking out, man, bro, he's just like one of the boys.
Yeah,
That management style is probably the best style there is. Because when it's time to knuckle down and work, we get it done.
yeah,
But like if you micromanage, like that's a micromanager. And like, you know, you work in enough places, you sort of know, like, bro, if you get caught sitting down or like, you know, on your phone while you're supposed to be working. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're working with machines or if you're working with people, if their business is still ticking over, they got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be.
I don't.
But if you're micromanaging people and like people fear you, fear is not a good thing in the workplace, man.
Yeah,
Respect is, but fear is a total different beast, eh? Fear is like, the fuck, when's that guy gonna piss off? So I can't wait for that guy to die. Like, that's how people think when they come across people like that.
where do they live?
Yeah, straight up, eh?
Those are the best managers you talked about, man. Those ones that work hard and the workers see they work hard, so they work hard with them, not tell them to work hard.
Yeah.
She's probably the one of those ones tell you to work hard, but she's just doing fuck all in the office.
Yeah.
You know? Going off on breaks and coming back 2 hours later or something like that. Going to a meeting or blah, 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 all that shit. But yeah, man, you're absolutely right about. And I talked about it before. My boss being true professional and like he's a hard worker, man, and he works even though he's our boss, he still works harder than all of us. You know, he's the first one in the office and he's the last one to go. You know, he just loves the job. He's just a workaholic. You know,
Great leadership that I've seen, and I've worked at a few big places, is when you see the big bosses jump on the floor with you and start helping you. You know what I mean? Like, if your managers who manages the site walks around and see that you might be flustered or like, oh, is everything all right? And just stands there and tries to find help for you, instead of going to help them, shows what kind of style they have, you know?
Yeah,
The hands-on and then the micromanaging, you know what I mean? I've worked in places where the CEO's just like, without even saying anything, just jumped on and just started helping you. You know, and you'd be like, oh,
those
wow.
are good bosses.
Those are the people who really care, you know?
Yeah.
Actually care about the person's doing it, because you ask them, oh, they used to do it. Whereas the people, they come in and they don't know anything about the business or never started from the floor, they have that sort of attitude like, oh, we're so-and-so, why aren't they here, you know?
Fuck yeah.
all right, some news. We'll go to sports now. So the big news this week in sports: RTS Roger Tuivasa-Sheck have announced he's leaving the Blues and the All Blacks and Rugby Union to join the Warriors, back to the New Zealand Warriors on a 3-year deal.
Do you know how much?
No, but it did come out in the news. The headline was the reasons why he's moving. And if you listen to his interview on the radio, and he's saying that this is the decision he's making for his family. He wants his kids to grow up in Auckland. He's from Auckland, and he wants his family to grow up in Auckland, and he doesn't want to move anywhere. He had offers from Japan, which he turned down because of staying in Auckland.
Oh yeah.
He wants his kids to grow up with his family, with their cousins.
Yeah.
In this environment. So that was he said that was one of the big reasons why he didn't want to go overseas and take the Warriors gig, because it just allows him to stay in Auckland. So what do you guys think of that? Happy or sad? Or?
I reckon it's a good move. Well, because I was watching the late night show, the late show, Matty Johns and like Heine and Fletcher and the Raging Bull, and when he announced that, everyone, like all the crowd just went, hey, you know, they were like happy that he was coming back to league. Like, to be honest, I don't even reckon he shined as much playing union or rugby as much as when he was playing league, when he was playing for the Roosters and that. Yeah, I reckon, yeah, good move. Obviously for his family. Did he get any offers from other clubs in the league? Do you know?
Oh, he must have. Not sure. But he would have turned it down anyway to stay in Auckland. He turned down Japan, and Japan's offering mega bucks, you know.
More money than the Warriors.
Oh, they just got a.
Warriors money is like Pukio money, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Depends on Japan rugby, man. That's one.
so you turn all of that down to still stay with the Warriors?
Well,
Makes
from
sense,
what I've heard, 2 countries right now that were hot with spending thousands of dollars, millions, is Japan and France.
Damn.
If you got contracts with those two, any of the clubs in those 2 places, guaranteed you make heaps more money than New Zealand can ever give you.
Man. Oh, I think you need to cue the crowd, bucky for that one, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Daniel, my doggo, Daniel Cover, man. Another Uruhu old boy, bro. That's like we gotta give credit when credit's due, man. This dude made the All Blacks.
Yeah.
I bet you no one saw that coming when he transitioned.
Yeah.
People were like saying, "Oh, he ain't gonna live up to the hype." Well, to be fair, Auckland didn't have any great SPWs after that. Like when SPW retired, there was no sort of who was the next guy
Yeah.
in their position. Like who had they grown from like club level or through to domestic level all the way up. That guy literally filled the void, and so he did a good enough job. I mean, if he managed to get picked in the All Blacks, I mean, he made a Super Rugby final. How many guys can say that? So he's done everything possible you can do in New Zealand rugby in any jersey, apart from win a Super Rugby title.
Yeah.
And he could potentially make a World Rugby World Cup squad and win one. So if you're a betting man, I wouldn't, wouldn't not back him because he's capable of doing it. But and I think he's just pretty much molded his time, like for the time, because he always had it in his contract. If he was to leave rugby, the contract, because that was the part of his leaving terms with the Warriors, is that they would release him. But if he got released and he came back, he would only be able to go back to the Warriors. So there was no other offers to go into the NRL at any club. But you got to remember, he was one of the biggest signings that the Warriors had ever offered. You know, it was more than $1 million a season. So they offered more money. Because remember when he took that deal, Sean Johnson couldn't come back because the Warriors couldn't afford him. So that's why he went to Cronulla. So that's on the back of all that stuff. But good on him, man. Like, he's done enough. You remember, he won a premiership, bro. Like, how many guys, at the age of, like, under 20 won a premiership? That are Kiwi, He just happens to be in the right place, and he made the right choices to go to Sydney City. So he's the man. Like, you only wish that he could put on a tour jersey. That's my hope.
Yeah.
Because, bro, if he played for the tour, man, who would you leave on the bench? How about that question?
I just want to make shout out to Tana, Sai, and Stace, who hosted the 135 Footy Show, our West West Network podcast on NRL, and they talked about this on their latest episode 11. It's out on Spotify right now, but yeah, they were saying stuff similar to what we're talking about right now, but it's interesting as the news article which talks about the reasons why he's going, and I don't think it's just a headline, but I don't think it tells the story, because if his intention was to stay in Auckland and for his kids to grow up here, then it has to be for the money, because I think the Warriors deal would have been more money than what the Blues would offer. Otherwise, he would stay there with the Blues, because they're both professional teams in the same city. So
even including his All Blacks money as well.
Yeah, I think because if you look at who's in front of him in the All Blacks, he's talking about Leonard Brown. You got Rico. You got Jordy Barrett. He's still down in the picking order when it comes to the All Blacks, to making the big money in the All Blacks.
But then again, it gives him longevity because he's not playing the footy, because his body's not getting tarnished in the game. So I reckon it was part of his plan anyways, to test himself whether he'd make the All Blacks, be able to go to the World Cup, and if he can do it in that time frame, he was always going to go back to the Warriors, because that's his game, man.
Yeah.
But then the circle of people talking that are true Warriors fans, as you saw on the comment thread, is who would you leave out at fullback then? And the Warriors are already saying, nah, if he came back, he would get a centre. Like, I don't know.
Because the clock's there, he's doing well in fullback with the Warriors.
But who cares, mate? It's not even round 10, mate.
Yeah.
Just relax. I know all these guys here. All of a sudden, this guy's going to this guy and this team's going to do this. Hey, relax. The round 10's not up yet, mate. That's when you're going to see the big gap happen. Because there's a lot of teams sitting there fourth, sharing the same amount of points. It's heaps of teams. So
it's great news for NRL, because when you had the clapping sound, or when everyone was clapping when they announced that, they just lost Joseph Suoli to rugby union, and now they're going to gain RTS back in NRL.
League,
so they'll be happy for that. It goes to show, it's the two different sports, and you can't really tell when you cross over if you're going to be good or not, or if you're good in NRL, it's throw the dice if you're going to be good in union. But they're saying just Suoli won't have that problem. They say he'll dominate straight away.
Well, any time will tell.
He's strong too. I've seen him run, do head-ups. He's no fear,
Yeah, for a tall guy, shucks.
Yeah, young guy.
He's got a whole lot of power in his run.
Yeah, hopefully, injury stays injury-free.
Nah, when you're young like that, man, injury is nothing. Injury prone. But yeah, I'd like to see Roger in a tall Samoa jersey, man.
That'll be mean, bro.
Because I hate to be that guy, but I don't see him carry the centre skills like other guys in the past, like at the Warriors. I think we've seen guys go from wing to centre, but they were naturally centres.
Yeah.
I've never seen a fullback go from fullback to centre. Like, if you can name a handful of players, I don't remember any that have played in any apart from the Roosters being able to do it, swap players around. But I didn't see anyone at the Warriors be able to do that. Like great Warriors, and I've been watching a whole lot of that Monty B from Sky, but once a Warrior,
They're in the car, The last one.
Last one, yeah. But yeah, any time will tell, because he's not a really big guy in the centres. Like, he's a Jerome Reparty size sort of guy.
Oh, yeah.
So with a centre of 5'8", possibly.
It'll be interesting if he makes Toa Samoa. I wonder where he'll go. Who was the centres? It'll be it was Crichton and who was the other centre? The Toa squad.
Lafay.
Then you had the fullback. Oh, so Ali was fullback, eh?
Mm. But yeah, they still got they got a whole lot of outsiders, outside backs. Just put them in prop done.
Speaking of NRL, you been watching some games?
Yeah, I watched the Cowboys and the Knights last night.
Good game, eh?
Yeah. For the Knights nearly won it. Ponga played.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You happy? He's playing.
He started at 6.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think he did.
Action-packed game, man. I watched the highlights of that game.
I watched the did you watch the Rabbitohs and the Panthers? Well, that was a mean game.
I thought the Penrith had it in the last 2
Yeah.
minutes.
But no, then they Latrell passed it to that guy on the wing. The Rabbitohs for the Rabbitohs.
Johnston. Was
Nah,
Johnston
this
or
other
whatever?
guy.
Oh.
Yeah, the Rabbitohs had a mean win. What do you call it? The critter guy scored all the points, for the game.
Oh, Crichton. Yeah. He scored 16 points.
Oh,
Yeah, he scored all the points up until I think the last try they made was someone else.
okay.
But yeah, that was a close game, eh? But that's the thing, man. A lot of those games every week, man. You're gonna get a game like that. You're gonna get a game like that, exciting game, like intense game like that, you know? When you think they've got it in the bag, you know, in the last 10 minutes, but then the other team comes back and wins it. You know?
I saw the Sharks. They smashed the Bulldogs, eh? Or was that close? I know that guy, is it Kennedy? He had a triple. I think he had triples in the first half of that game.
Oh, it's 20-33. That game.
Oh. Who was playing today?
Manly's Eagles playing today again. Oh, right now
Tigers.
actually against the Tigers.
Oh.
Dolphins game last minute win against the Gold Coast Titans.
Hey.
Yeah, because when we started the podcast, I was watching, and Gold Coast were winning.
Oh, the Dolphins. Oh, speaking of Dolphins, that's where so is it Jack Whitman? How do you say his name? Whiteson. Yeah, so apparently I was watching the show, the late night with Matty Johns. They said that they spotted him at a Brisbane airport, and then apparently he was going to go speak to the someone from Wayne Bennett. Yeah, and then Matty Johns was saying that after that he was going to go speak to the Rabbitohs, and then they were saying on the panel, Fletcher, Heine, and going to tell us which team would be much suited for him. They're all saying the Rabbitohs for him to actually try to get a championship, you know, win a premiership.
He's a good player. It's a shame he's not putting himself for representative rugby
What
league
is that?
anymore.
When was the last time you ever heard, like, that's probably the first time I've ever heard that, eh? Like a player like that caliber to turn down, he's not wanting to play New South Wales and Australia, you know?
I've heard it before. I think
Who?
people have done that. Hey, Hillets. People have done that, eh?
Turn down the
Like representative, like league, state of O, and Australia?
And just play for club only. They don't want to be picked for.
Josh Schuster did it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Bongo Junior.
Oh, yeah. That's more
But
recent.
during
yeah.
the season,
That's more
Ponga
recent.
did. Ponga turned the jersey down a couple of seasons ago.
Hey,
Yeah, it's the norms,
Oh.
mate. I think that's more of the pressure of worrying about not being able to perform. You know what I mean? Because if you're probably about getting picked for the rep jersey, but you can't even start in the club jersey, there's too much things to worry about, right?
yeah,
And I
Yeah.
think guys in the past have said it as well. Like if they just concentrate on playing their own game, and like without even considering, But then when they say, "Oh, I'm not making myself available," then they end up getting the call up in game 2 or something. Then they answer the call, or like they might answer it on the third, third game.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why they've made themselves unavailable. Because to be fair, man, you're gonna be fearful if you're a New South Wales player, mate, trying to play against the first team, bro. Because you're gonna get smashed. It's just like that's automatic. Like when people go, bro. Because if you listen to everyone's testimony about like saying, "Oh, I played State of Origin," yeah, because every guy, man, and every guy from New South Wales says that same beginning of their story, mate. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's been one of my long time dreams to play in the New South Wales and play along great players, from the state."
Yeah.
And there's one thing to play, country versus whatever, and then play in New South Wales jersey, and then they from the first kickoff was like, bro, this is like 3 times harder because it's the same guys, it's the same guys you play week in, week out against.
Yeah.
And they just say from the first kickoff to the first head up, and it's like that's a constant pressure every minute of the game, And that's true, man. We see it when we watch the games. It's like, man, these guys are playing harder than when you see them playing for like club and for rip, almost like the international. But you can't. Yeah, it is a lot of pressure, man. Because the media hype around it in Oz is like we get like just a kamaki hole of it, but over there it would be all over the news.
I like the reason why I asked, like, it's funny for me to hear like players turning down the representative game and that is because wouldn't you want to play in like Saturday, because then when you go back to your club, you'll still be on that same, you'll still have that same adrenaline, same passion.
Do you remember there was a famous guy that was sitting in the very seat on the same wall? He turned down the Australia jersey.
Oh,
and look how the season started for them. They're top of the table. See, imagine if he'd have played. All the guys, like for example, Parramatta's team right now, they're feeling the crunch of it because majority of the team played rep football. And they've played the most games this year out of any club. That's the Parramatta boys. That's what I'm saying. Wait till round 10 when everyone's all on the same amount of games after World Cup. Then you'll see the teams start to float, separate. It's like you watch the fat drip away from the water, it'll just float to the top.
Yeah.
I think Brisbane are fortunate, man. Because, like they haven't had a lot of rep players. Like, sort of staff for them.
That reminds me too. They were saying that what's his name, Payne Haas or something, that he might be that these union teams approaching him.
Bro, like I was telling you, mate, when Eddie Jones came into the picture, and that's news. That's not news to anyone in footy like rugby league. If that guy's got a list of players, he'll get them.
Damn.
There's enough money there, bro, because there's no cap.
On rugby. Oh fuck. Yeah, this is interesting, Like to hear all these things.
But what position would he play though?
Wouldn't he play prop?
He get folded like a serviette, man.
No, what would he play? At number 8 or something?
6 or centre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll be main centre.
He would be the Manu Tuilangi in the Australia jersey, bro.
You gotta look at the NRL players. They're built, Not many of them would be props in rugby union, Not many, Because they haven't got. They might look big on the league field, and you think, damn. But then when you put them on the same field as rugby union guys, they'll look like, oh no, he's in the backs.
Yeah. The greatest example of fitness level is when Benji Marshall remember he went on YouTube and he showed everyone that he was going to the Blues, and he came here, did a preseason, and they still talk about it now, man. But the fastest guy they ever, the most fittest guy they ever talked about was him, and he's almost a retired from bloody NRL guy. And he was like, they were like, the way they explained it was like, bro, this guy was just up off the line. People were still getting back, and he's like, even the Broncos, they was like, bro, that guy was like smashing it. Guys in his like almost 30s, and the young guys like 20, 22-year-olds couldn't keep up. Different fitness,
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. State of Origin is coming up soon. Who do you think is gonna make their debut this season?
Reece hasn't debuted for Queensland, Started.
He was named last year, but never debuted.
Started.
Yeah, never started.
Man, yeah, he'll get a start, man.
No,
He'll get a start. Man, if you rewind last week, people, if you're listening, you don't start with the guy who just came from an HRA return. He played one game.
Yeah.
You put the guys in front, the guys that are playing well. You give them opportunity, right? Because remember when Billy the Kid, like everyone's like, why would they bring him over the guys, inform guys all season, and look what he did. And then someone grew the balls. Well, how about we do that to Jared Hayne? And look what Jared Hayne did. He probably won you guys a series, man. It's stuff like that. Because I think if you don't breed them in now, when would you do it? You hate to do it on the last 20 minutes of the game, and it's a and it's the game that decides the series. That's when you don't want to do it. You want to break them in early. So I reckon he'd get his start, and I don't know, because I'm not really invested in the NRL at the moment. Not until after round 10.
Who have you seen else?
Maybe Nico Hines.
Is he the Cronulla guy? No?
Yeah.
The standoff?
That's what they were talking about. Him and someone else.
But who would be on the bench, bro? Or would you rest Munster on there for the game one? Is that what you're saying? Because he might get named on the bench, but no one probably won't get on.
Nico Hines will play for New South.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, maybe he will probably, because he hasn't played for New South before, eh?
That's an interesting one because Newcastle was playing Ponga at number 6, eh? So what does that mean for Queensland then? Because they're not going to get rid of Munster and Cherry Evans.
No, you can't. Even Holmes is still playing good, so you wouldn't put him on the bench.
Oh,
But you'd get him to kick, though.
I like Holmes.
You would get him to kick. Yeah, Kobe's playing well. You wouldn't put him. But what about Coots? Would you put him on the bench? See, we got heaps of firepower. Doesn't matter who we name, we're still going to win game one. No.
Xavier Coates, will he be?
Yeah.
Is he going to make it?
I reckon I don't reckon the game will be won in the backs. Be one in the forward pack. Whoever's got the most running meters. I mean, does Josh Papali'i get a call up? Do you listen to Mamaninga and tell them if they don't want to play State of Origin, then let them play for, you listen to that rubbish, or? Because you got to remember when James Tamo first went over to the State of Origin?
And he played for New South Wales.
Kiwi, yeah. It was like they had a Māori television program based on 6 guys who went over, Sam Moore being one of them, James Tamo being another one. I'm like, bro, look what happened. They soaked him up, exalted him as if he was like one of their own. Like, that's why it's rich of Australia, especially Mamaninga, to sort of do it to the PI boys, man. And get mad at them. It's like, bro, they were born there. Literally, like what? 6 years old, he's saying you can't claim them from 6 years old. They got to the point where they started taking guys over when they're 13 and they say, oh, you can't play because you're 14 and you were here. Anything to win the State of Origin, eh?
Well, what about you, Kim? So you reckon who do you reckon's going to debut?
For New South?
For any.
Yeah, I reckon Hall should be there, I think. Yeah, as fullback. But and Ponga will lose out unless he's on the bench. But it's just weird I don't know why they're playing him at number 6.
Yeah. I don't think it was a rep jersey decision. That's what the club needed, eh? But I think he wanted to move position, eh? He's getting older. But yeah, he did have a good State of Origin game 3 though.
Oh yeah, he was one of the main guys for Queensland last year.
That's the back of his team playing Gaia too, eh?
Yeah, and that because of that, it's hard to leave him out. Hey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can leave him out of game 1. It makes sense. Leave him out of game 1. What about your team? I think the hard decisions for your team is who you start on the back 3 and the inside backs.
Yeah, the problem with our team, we got too many good players, man, and it's all about the selection.
And still losing the series. I don't know how that works, man.
See, Adelkar's injured for 8 weeks, and he's not gonna make it. And he was the guy that we really needed, and it was a big mistake for Brad Phillip to leave him out of our team last year. So, but we're still safe. I think we got Turbo, Latrell, Nico Hines will be there. Nathan Cleary, Brian To'o, Ali. So our back line is strong.
That's who they were arguing about, Nico Hines or Jerome Leilua. Luai.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be the number 6.
Yeah, so the problem there is that, because last year, the reason why Luai and Cleary wasn't there because of the chemistry, because of that.
Yeah, they played together.
Yeah, they played together, so it'll just be an easy transition. Like when you start fiddling around with that, put in Nico Hines, who is a good player, and Nathan Cleary, who is another good player. How are they going to gel? Or maybe you just throw them in game 1, see how it goes. But I reckon, I think Nico Hines should be there, at number 6.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they had anyone last year. Really. I think Hines came into in the front and came into form late in the season.
After the origin.
I think so. He was a good player, always a good player, but I think the second half of the season with the Sharks, he just turned into a superstar, a potential superstar, And if you remember the game earlier this year, the Indigenous, he got man of the match. He was the man.
Is he Indigenous? Oh.
He played for the Indigenous team.
He doesn't even look into... Doesn't even look at me. He looks white as.
Has he got black hair?
No,
Yeah, but I mean,
he's keeping 5 pounds done with a stick.
No, man, he looks... Check that one.
You watching in NBA?
Yeah, been watching the NBA. I watched was watching, I think it's... the Nets and the Sixers. Watch that game. Oh, see the suspended Draymond Green, eh?
Yeah, for that.
Was it
But they
stomp?
still won though. They won the game.
Yeah. For the stomp on Sabonis.
Was it intentional or was it an accident?
Oh no, it was intentional, man.
Was it a laughing one or like a serious
No, it was
guy,
serious.
little-
He said, what was his excuse? I had nowhere to put my feet.
Well, see, the thing is, they got tangled up when they fell to the ground. But because Sabonis was on his back and Draymond Green was like halfway on top of him, Draymond Green stood up and went to run, but Sabonis grabbed his ankle. And then when his ankle was in the air, Sabonis grabbed it. So he pulled his ankle down, but towards his chest. And then instead of just, Draymond Green, he just got his foot and stepped on his chest. It's like stomped on it.
Stomped on him. And so he got, what do you call it? He got...
He got ejected.
Yeah,
But then, did you see that scene when he was at the crowd? Like, happy
Oh,
enough, the crowd?
yeah.
After it.
Like, he got ejected, and instead of walking out, he went to the crowd because the crowd was going, yeah, get out, like that. And he was going, yeah, to the crowd, like hyping them up.
Yeah. Did you see the incident with the rapper E40? So apparently it's on. It's on my Instagram feed. So he was at the Warriors and the Kings game. Apparently, you know how like in Sacramento, like there's some sort of racism or whatever. So you know how E40's black and he's tall, but he's sitting in the front. And so this white lady at the back complained to the security guard, for him to he should sit down. I mean, don't stand up because he's, we can't see. But but even the Warriors, because he was supposed to the Warriors, right? So even they were saying, but that's just etiquette. Like he's like enjoying the, the run. Like if they score 3 or dunk or whatever, he just gets up, But this white chick complained to the security guard. Yeah, and then this whole incident, man, it was on Instagram. He got booted out of that game. And they all made it like it was a racist thing. Yeah.
Well, America is a racist place, man.
Yeah, nah. But sometimes it's just pity. Like, that's nothing, to react. But then E40 started getting pissed off at the security guard. Yeah. He did, yeah. And then you can just see what he was saying.
Because I know in America, when you're a fan of a team, but you're in the other team stadium, yeah, they're hostile.
Yeah.
They'll be hostile. they'll try and kick you out because they even limit the ticket numbers to, especially in the front.
Oh,
Like the front row seats. If the opposite team fans buy those seats, it's like, you gotta, if you want to sit there, you're in a hostile crowd, you're gonna get some abuse.
yeah.
It's just like an unwritten rule, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, check it out. It was on Instagram.
Man, the two series I'm looking at is that game, Sacramento and Golden State. That's a mean series, man.
What's it?
It's 3-1. Oh no, it's 2-1.
Oh, to the
to
Warriors.
Golden State. So game 4 is tomorrow. But that's an awesome series, man. Because finally, De'Aaron Fox is now a superstar, or heading to be a superstar because of his play. And I don't know, the Golden State Warriors, the first 2 games, they look old, getting run down by the young guys. But it's cool that they came back in game 3 because they got some fight left. Because you don't want that team who are the current defending champions to go out in round 1, without a fight.
That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah. But now that game in LA and Memphis, yeah. Because that's a grind game. Oh man, today I watched the game. John Morant, he scored 22 points straight points in the fourth quarter.
Oh, so they won.
Nah, they lost.
Oh yes, let's go LA.
Really?
Yeah, man. I didn't like Dylan Brooks.
Why? Because he's a hot hit.
Trash talker. No, like you were saying, calling LeBron old. He's old.
No respect there.
No respect. Gotta respect the elders, man.
But I like that. I like the attitude. But at least you gotta win, man.
Yeah.
Or just have that same energy when you're losing.
Because they fussied them when John Morant's out, Steven Adams is out, and they still fussied them. Yeah.
The other series I watched was the Clippers series. Clippers and who they playing?
Oh, the Suns.
Suns, yeah. Yeah, that's. Don't know how. What's Westbrook, man? He should retire. Okay, boys. What's next? We got a memory link.
I shared that one of Scottie Pippen and Charles Barkley. Was that NBA Finals, from back in the day? Yeah. Oh man, for all you young bucks, surely there's a few old heads that tune in and watch us, man. But for you to remember the reign of Charles Barkley, man, and who he was when he came onto the scene. He was part of the Phoenix Suns, and they had the longest winning streak in the NBA history at the time, And I remember, just watching this singer-looking dude, He came across real black. And then you watch his shooting, the way he drives to the hoop, but his dunks. I was like, bro, this dude was like the old version of Shaq. But that was my interpretation of how he played.
Yeah.
But, but his history was he was the only dude who made the dream team. And, as successful as he was, never won an NBA championship,
Yeah.
But the memory lane with because I didn't know that beef that they had was legit enough.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just blowing up or whatever. But people are stitching them up now and actually starting to share the stories from that era, only because it's coming out. Because these guys are all growing up, they got grandkids and stuff like that, so they can sort of put it behind them. Because any other dude that I know who's still sour about his sort of heyday and is still in the shadow of Michael Jordan is Karl Malone.
Oh yeah, no, he never won. Did he win the title? No.
Nah, but I mean, look at everyone else. They got it over it, But I crack up every time when Charles is on and Shaq is free premierships.
Yes.
And he's got nothing to say.
Yeah.
And so I never really got that because in my head I was like, how far back does that go? And then they showed that series, where they played the Suns, and I didn't know that beef went on with him and Scottie Pippen,
Yeah.
But it was a game 1 or game 2, and bro, Scottie Pippen was MIA, like
Yeah.
that's what you call MIA these days.
Shaq's lucky to be born when he was born and come into form when he did, because remember his teams were winning championships after Michael Jordan retired.
Yeah,
but
hard out.
retired for real.
Yeah, yeah,
If Shaq was same age as Jordan growing up that
Yeah.
time, I don't think he would be part of. He'll be like with those other dudes with Richard Miller and Karl Malone, man, not having won anything.
Especially with the numbers that Jordan was really full on, like driving to the hoop, eh?
Yeah, he's
Like,
another beast,
Man, that wasn't. I don't think there was like people didn't get like the era of like Steph Curry. That's shooting, and like there's heaps of shooters now.
Heaps,
But
man.
those days when Jordan was wearing those shoes, they're freaking. You imagine playing in Chuck Taylor's, man. Like
Yeah.
that dude was playing in that era, driving to the hoop, smashing on people, like legit,
Yeah,
like
there's no
making
ankle-
people look like, oh wow,
No
like
ankle safety.
no ankle safety, no like sort of help, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because it shows that. Because years later, when he puts on a pair of dunks, the first ones, and his feet are bleeding, like because he just wanted to like commemorate the release of his shoes and stuff like that. But man, I just when I shared that video, I thought like, man, whoever put that together, that's brilliant,
Yeah.
like because that was like showmanship, gamesmanship, and sort of like shit talk, back in the day was done.
Yeah,
It was
big
like,
time.
bro, the last like it was like last try, I wouldn't say, but it's like very last try, and that was pretty much it. Especially on that one particular play, because it's after one play. It's like the way they describe it is like, had he covered him like he said he would, they would have won. But it was just that one play, and he goes to it was a John or whoever shoots it, Paxton
Yeah.
shoots it. He was like, damn, like it's only like 3 seconds, man, 3 seconds. If he had just covered him, like
They've always butted heads, Charles Barkley and Scottie Pippen. But he's also butted heads with Michael Jordan, Apparently they haven't talked in years too.
from the Last Dance recordings.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
did Charles Barkley say or
It
something?
must have been something when he went to Charlotte. Oh no. Wow. Yeah, I just thought, man, that whoever put that reel together and summed it
Good.
up in like 6 minutes did a brilliant job of stitching that up. Especially because like I didn't know that was the decider. Like that's what made them not win. Especially Charles Barkley. Like got off fire. It's like I feel sorry for him even more now.
Yeah, no totals. There's like Iverson, McGrady. There's a few legends.
But yeah, I remember that era being real hard, like especially when basketball cards was in back in the day.
Yeah,
Because that's how you got your
shucks.
stats. Because we didn't watch it, Like we didn't. I
Yeah.
don't think Sky was broadcasting on ESPN and that were
Yeah, on
back
TV.
here. It was like just a Sunday Sport
Yeah,
news or Sunday Sport on 3. But yeah, I remember that time, and that when because you remember like you got those basketball cards, and if you were to put your team together, like who would you pick? I remember, when his card came in, I remember people used to laugh if you try to trade it. I was like, "What are you talking about? This guy's not mad." He goes, "Nah." But it was all the guys that went to church on Sundays. They didn't know, because when I remember watching him play, I was like, "Wow, this guy's pretty good, legit good."
Okay, boys. I got a sick can of the week, and it's a post that a lady put on the EOTC Facebook page. Misty Atkinson. So this woman came on Dr. Phil, and she talked about sleeping with her own son, but it's not that straightforward, because apparently she had a kid when she was 14 years old, and the kid had to go live somewhere else. And then I think it's 15 years later or 18, they sort of meet up again and start having a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. It's pretty sick if you ask me, guys, but I'll play you some of the video.
So the very first time you were together, you had a action. Did you say to yourself, I'm I'm actually having my child.
No, I don't know. It was just, it wasn't like it felt like a normal person.
Good discovery, Alice, because you were really hot when we brought this up.
No, yeah. Nah. There's no excuses morally, man. Like, that's nah.
Ancest 101 right there.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you gave birth, like if there's no connection, like we haven't seen each other in 20 years, but you still gave birth to him, you know, you're still the biological mother, you know. That's I don't know what the terms are, but you're still the mother. You gave birth to that kid, you know.
She knew, eh?
Yeah.
She obviously knew. So the guy she was dating at the time obviously managed to find all of this out and went back and told her. And obviously her mindset and where she felt her, I don't know, like the urge to want to see him turned into lust. And the fear mares, man. What the fun? Who does that, eh?
I think that's like sick, you know, mentally, you know. I don't know what the term is, but
this just when I think about it, you know, I'm not condoning that shit. Fuck that shit. There's fucking hillbilly, South American, this is Mississippi, fucking deliverance bullshit kind of shit. But man, if that did happen, like, you know, like if you think of the relationship they have, like I don't know if she was lonely or fucking depressed or whatever.
no, I think she had a family. She's already got a family, yeah.
Yeah, she said she would have had kids, but I think it's the because, you know, like some people park their feelings, eh? And that's why I encourage people, like, if you park stuff, make sure you go back to it. That she obviously parked her being cool on that and had to give him up and never really got that chapter of her life sorted, eh? Because she just parked it, carried on, and then her feelings have obviously been like, what, really? Before that to turn sexual, man, it's like, what the fuck happened to her to make that feel like it was worth pursuing? Because it didn't come across like it was just a one-off and kiss on the lips. That was like all the way nasties and then some, because to carry it on the way she did.
But do you guys think it's because of their connection being related? You know what I mean? Like if say you, let's just say you're out at a bar and you see the most prettiest girl at the bar. You got that instant attraction, right? But you know, you want to go out on a date with her, but you gotta develop that relationship first. You know, like find out if she's a good person. You know, you gotta go through that stage of knowing who that person is. But because that, you know, they already knew that they're related, they already had that connection being related. But because she hasn't seen him for all these years, it's like automatic straight away. If you know what I mean.
I don't know if I could be sold on that, man.
Yeah, that's man, nah, that's.
But I'm just saying, like that, the percentages of being sick in the head to do something going across the line, is probably easier to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it might be easier for someone that's sick in the head to go that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not saying like it's not all her fault. Like I'm sure if the boy, how old was the boy? 15.
Yeah, it doesn't say if he was 15 at the time, but it had been 15 years since she probably saw him.
Like, and I'm sure he's at an age too, but still too young, I reckon. And
but would he have known though?
If that was his mum.
If that was his mum, yeah. Do you think he would have been alright with it? Because that's clearly just one opinion. That's just her point of view and what she had felt. She's ended up taking the blame and owned it.
Yeah.
Jumped on Dr. Phil and shared that with all of the world. So
She got paid, eh?
fuck yeah. Like
Yeah,
Americans are sick, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, that stuff's happened where people have gone missing. Like, remember there was that missing persons? That dude had those Gamaikis locked in the basement of his house, and he made them their kids like that, and they had like a baby. You know, I'm sure we did a empty out the clip about it. But that one there, wow.
But we all hear stories about even school teachers having sex with their students. You know, young as teenagers. You know, like that sort of frame of mind, that sick frame of mind. Maybe she's got that too. The same kind of sick frame of mind. Like, we don't know why these school teachers have sex with their students. You know, and you know, it's happened in New Zealand. I think there are a couple of cases that we've read on the paper in this podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and that shit goes on overseas. You know, I think that's the same kind of sickness.
I mean, the same shit's happened in bloody Pacifica families, man. But nieces getting pregnant to their aunties'
incest,
husbands and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then they send their kids away. Oh no, it's like, it is something like in the head, like like that.
Yeah, it's all related. All those stories we just talked about. It's all connected somehow. Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't like. I know it's sad to hear, but that, you know, at the same time, because I think an event like that did happen in my family, and that. But what made it sad is that my auntie still wanted to be with the guy, the older. I mean, because so her ex-partner got with his stepdaughter, which is my auntie's real daughter. You know, and then my cousin gave birth to the stepdad's child. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's,
but her mum still wanted to be
with the guy,
with the father of that baby.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, like weird. Yeah,
I think it's easy for all of us to sort of like, oh man, that's flipping sick. But I suppose if you're in that sort of mind frame, it's hard to sort of snap out of it. But I mean, that's what love is, bro. It's ugly. It has its highs and lows. But that sort of mindset where you fully just tune out to what logic is and what's the principle, and like, well, that's not right. Can sort of cloud your judgment, hey? You know?
Yeah, big time.
And that's a tough one too.
And we spoke about seeing this on that movie, on that show, TV series, Boardwalk Empire, eh? And you know, so that comes from something that's real in the world. You know, so it's not shocking, so to
Made
speak.
up, yeah.
Like I always say in the puddles, if they made a movie about it, it's probably happened.
It must be some psychological thing, eh? Like, I'm sure if we get a psychiatrist in here, they'll say, oh yeah, they got this disease. It's common. You know.
Well, the only time I saw it before you said Boardwalk Empire was that Bella Mafia.
Oh.
There was when the opposite mob family came in and killed all the men of the family, and the woman took over. And yeah, the mob leader's wife, she had baby before she had met him, and she gave him up. She gave her baby up to the adoption or to the nuns, and he was put in a home. The only reason why she knew she had slept with her son is that she had given him a charm, and he wore it around his neck. And so when he came in and murdered his own siblings and dad and all his uncles, is that she obviously made out with him, and like it got real intense. And it was just that one scene, and then she happens to realize he's the one who's murdered her whole family, and then asks him as she's killed him, like, oh, who gave you this? And he goes, me, mom. I was like, what the shit? If I imagine her, man, she probably would have grabbed the gun and shot herself.
Oh. So it's the Italians, eh?
Italians, man. Bloody hell. You stick to Lunguni and fettuccine, man. See?
Yeah, but do you reckon that mother deserves jail?
Nah, she needs help, man. She needs help. That's probably why Dr. Filippo was like, at the moment, I think because there's one thing to own the mistake. It's own the mistake and live with the consequence that you've already done what you've done.
Yeah.
It's another thing to break that down and understand what was telling you in your head why that you thought that was appropriate at the time you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everyone's got their off days, man. Everyone's got their, whoops, sorry.
You know who I feel sorry for? Her partner. Because even if she never had a partner and she gets a future partner and the son's there, oh, this is my son. And, you know, I've been sleeping with him and if you're the partner coming into this new family, you'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, because I think she had a set of kids and a partner too at the time. So I want to know what happened to them. They're probably not in her life.
But now guys can be insecure. But man, you're gonna be insecure of the son sleeping in the room, you know? It's like, wait,
Oh, that's right.
Straight.
is he listening in the got his ear on the door or something?
Right.
Imagine going to work, man, and you're leaving your wife home with her son. You know? Fuck. You're not safe anywhere, man. Like, what? You guys go through your head.
It's these fucking American people in there. Fucking get it together, man. Shit.
Lelo le por hamsi.
Fuck, imagine that, eh?
This is Kev's creative mind opening up.
Fuck. Where you going, honey? I'm gonna take the son over to, oh shit. Are you gonna follow them or?
I have to put the tracker on the Kalinga onesie.
American people, fucking hell, man.
Relax, yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, if you're that guy, if you're the new partner of that girl, why would you, man? Why would you go through all that shit, man? Damn. There's no thanks, man. No thanks. You're on your own. You have a happy life.
But man, if anyone can send us any links in the comments on when this goes up, man, please share it with us, man, so we can understand what happened and other can get closure from this case.
Nah, share that one about the that fucking rapist guy. If anyone knows any links, fuck, I hope he gets caught, eh? Because he could be still around lurking, you know, next victim shit.
Yeah, hard out.
Okay, we got a fair poko, but you guys want to do it now or next episode?
Who's the front runner for the fair poko?
So Sissy, man.
Yeah. So how many sausages?
Share it. Shout out to 50 for sharing this video, man. Wow, we had to 50 clever, man. Ooh, sorry, that's a classic. There's one thing to go and make a video, right, and then make it entertaining for your like audience or who you're trying to get attention from, man. But don't ever. That's the worstest thing is put a flag. But don't ever use the language. Just say brother challenge. Do not put toko challenge. Because straight away, man, all the people on the Empty Out the Clip page went straight to the leave my dogs alone, you know. But of all the stupid things you can record yourself doing, why would you try and put a whole lot of sausages in your mouth? Really? Oh my love. And it's one thing to put the sausages in your mouth, but to use it and slap against your cheeks and stuff like that. Like, is that screaming like what level of feel I sausage see up here?
What's up with the breathing?
I think it's getting suffocated.
But that just reminds me of just a rape scene in an American meal or something. What the hell?
Well,
So do you guys count how many sausages put in his mouth?
I think he put a 9.
1,
No,
2,
this is-
3, 4,
I
5,
think it's
6, 7.
counting.
Yeah, fucking I'm like they're massive ones
man,
too.
It's because he's put Doko challenge.
Oh yeah.
I was just laughing at the people who commented because bro, it was like, what is sausages in there? I made some flowers in it.
Well, that made me hungry when he was putting it in the
Sorry,
the sausages.
I'm just wondering who's gonna do that challenge. As far as I'm concerned,
bro,
he
the
won.
sausages even cooked.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm concerned,
Fucker, man.
Oh fuck
Far
that.
out.
as far as I'm concerned, he's won. You won, bro.
He's
You
the
won it.
champion, eh?
You won it. No one's gonna do it. You won.
Yeah.
This is the how big his mouth was open at the end there when he was like, oh. Fuck.
He won it because he's the only one that did it.
This champ right there.
Sweet boys, coming to an end. Let's do some shout outs.
Before we did shout outs in the beginning.
Oh,
Sorry, last words.
Oh, can I do
we
my
got
local
local hero?
hero? Yeah, I
Okay,
got local
we got
hero.
local. Sorry, guys. Let me do that again. Act 1. Let me just do that again. Now for local hero.
Yeah. So my local hero, man, he's like been an icon in the NRL since a young kid. one of his biggest moments came about when the Once a Warrior is when Ruben Wiki takes the run up from the in goal and knocks him out when he's playing for the Roosters. So my local hero is Sia Soleola, and the reason why he's been my local hero is because the amount of work that he does off the field that goes unnoticed by many people. And if you follow Sia's social media, he's not really big on like sharing his stories and the work that he does, but this guy goes out to like the community, like people who are going through hard times, feeding the homeless, and like even just getting amongst it within the club. So the Canberra Raiders kept him on, and they offered him a job to go and like help the island players sort of like stay on top of being an athlete, because it's usually the island players, they fall off and they get themselves into trouble. But he's known like within the club, but he's got that relationship with the families, and he's bigger than that. He's got the respect of the players. So Sia's only one of like a handful of guys who have done, of PI descent, who have done like 200 plus games in the NRL.
Wow.
And the fact that he was at one time the Toa Samoa captain, and he's played for the Kiwis. He was part of that team that went and saw the Queen in Buckingham Palace. And yeah, just everything this guy does, man. He's got a heart of gold. And I'm proud to, because I nicknamed the Reese Bannock back school, and that was after the Cool Runnings guy, you know. And so yeah, mad shout out to mad love to that guy, man, because this guy as a kid reminded me of Reese Bannock, man. He was fast, he was dark, he was tall, he was handsome, and he was the full package, and like we knew that guy was destined for greatness at school. I just seen him, the way he held himself at school. So yeah, my shout out to Sia Soleola. Yeah, you're our local hero for the West West Network this week. Keep doing you and honouring your old lady and the work you do for the community, man. But keep waving the KB flag, man, because we're watching from here. But yeah, that's a mad shout out to you, Doggo.
Shasia.
Shotless, man. That was me. Let's take us out with some last words.
So I'm gonna write me a schedule out this week. Meal prep and just plan this week. So what I normally do is that I'll write something out and then I'll go back to it on, like, if I'm at work during the week, and like, oh, okay, I did that, oh, I didn't go there. So I'm just gonna plan my week this week and see how far I get. Yeah.
Good on you, Oos. No, that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
Make sure you gives you all that time to, you know, find time for yourself and do the things that you can fit in there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Just took it off.
My last words, man, is shout out to all the guests who have answered the call to come on and share their stories with Cam and myself on the back of the 135. I'm truly humbled to sit next to Cam's, man. Like, just be given that window to listen in, because sometimes I didn't even ask questions because I'm too busy listening. And then when Cam's like looks at me like, oi, it's like I forget. But yeah, shout out to all you guys, man, and especially to like our last few guests, to Roland Williams and to Vin McCaffrey, man. Like, to have old boys that I highly respect, you know. I didn't just bring anybody's into the space because I don't want them to disrespect the work that Cams does. But yeah, thanks to everyone who tunes in and watches and gives us feedback, and when they see me out and about, wave, because I know either they're watching or they give us feedback like, man, love the content that we're putting out. But my last words, if I can share, is procrastinating again, eh? Like, it's good that others, you know, back on the work grind and stuff like that, and like, I think a lot of people do it. It's like they say, oh yeah, I want to do this, and they don't do it. And that little procrastinating voice that goes on inside your head, man, like, think of it like this. If you didn't get the chance to say goodbye to somebody and they fell off the face of the earth tomorrow, all because you were procrastinating, you have to live with that guilt. And I've buried my feelings about my cousin Rob being passed away for so long. And it just feels like I'm only starting to open my eyes to that very window of procrastinating. But because I have this podcast and this family here that I can, you know, actually stand up and go, you know what? It's just all in my head. And a lot of it is, you know, it's because I'm procrastinating. But if I really reflect and tell myself, man, just do it. What have I got to lose? I got nothing to lose. And I'm not promised tomorrow. I know that much. But if I can just share, man, like encourage people to reach out and get a hold of each other, go for a feed, go for a walk. And just enjoy life, man. Because, man, this sitting on this episode and the mini episode that we released, I'm like 61 episodes deep now. It's like a breath of fresh air, eh? And like I reflect and I watch some of them back and I crack up at some of the content and some of the yarns we share, man. But not once have I ever felt like deflated. I'll be honest. I've never felt deflated apart from the episode 80 that we did with me and Eric. But that's probably the toughest one I've ever had. But yeah, just thank you to everybody, man, and everyone part of the West Network, man. The content that we put out is out there, man, and you know, I want to actually see Josefina. So if anyone can send me a real clear link so I can watch it, man, Josefina the movie. But yeah, thank you, Cams, for providing this for us. You're the man.
So, Cams.
Thanks, boys. My last words. Yep, just continue sharing and liking our content. Find us on the West Network Instagram page, Facebook page, also Empty Out the Clip Facebook group page. You can go in there. I'm a bit behind on the YouTube videos for Back on 135. I think I've got 182 up. 182, I think, but I've got up to 193. So bit of a backlog there. Sorry about that. Got to put all that up too. So slowly coming. But I just want to encourage everyone that's just watching the YouTube page. That the Back on 135, if you want to be up to date, it's on Spotify or Stitcher. So we're not just on YouTube. We're on other podcast platforms. So yeah, thanks boys for coming on board. I know we had a good hour and a half, and we'll do it again next week. So let's get the fuck out of here.
Yo.
Sweet.